Okay, it is September the 24th, Sunday evening, just after the weekly open. Hopefully everybody had a good weekend. Let's go ahead and get into the market outlook and plans for the week ahead. So let's go ahead and start off with the news events, and the TLDR is don't really care about anything this week. We have a couple of foreign CPIs, we have the US GDP. I think the only thing that will matter in the slightest is going to be Powell speaking on Thursday. But I don't really care about any of this stuff. The only thing that you might want to pay attention to is potentially some volatility on Thursday if Powell says some stuff, but he's probably just going to likely be reiterating what he said last week at the FOMC. So we don't really care about any of this stuff. Let's go ahead and get into the Bitcoin outlook. Let's start off with the highest time frame. There isn't really too much to cover here, just more or less going to be updating what we've been covering for a couple of weeks now. Ultimately, momentum has been lost in the bull trend, so I do think it's a matter of time before we trade down. We're in the early consolidation chop phase before 25K gets lost. 25K is the macro support region to pay attention to right now. Bearish, we have bearish structuring and definitely loss of momentum with the trend that we've had all year long. So basically what we're looking at is that either we're going to reaccept into the range that we spent building over the past few weeks, or we're going to continue to trade higher to finish out the dead cat bounce. As it stands, it looks like the dead cat bounce is pretty exhausted at this point, and we're probably going to reaccept the range. But we'll cover that in a moment when we get to the medium time frame. But basically, if we were to draw it out, it looks like one of two scenarios. Either one, we're going to bounce from the support that we're at right now and trade up into resistance, probably looking at either 29 or 28K as the major resistance points to be paying attention to. From there, we would expect that we would more or less do the reciprocal of what we've done all year long. So just do a structuring like this the rest of the year. As it stands, it's looking pretty grim right now. Like, we're actually probably just going to reaccept this range, and then from there we'll probably get some chop before ultimately losing this range or this level. 25K is the end all be all for supports right now. We have about 4 or 5 major overlaps in the 25K region for support, so it's not going to be lost easily. But once it is lost, or maybe I shouldn't speak in absolutes, if it's lost, we're looking at the 23K and the 19K as the next obvious areas. Like we've said in the past couple of outlooks, these are incredibly obvious levels, so don't be surprised if there's some fuckery where we front run or blast through them. That's generally how we handle really obvious levels. So again, nothing really to change with the outlook on Bitcoin for higher time frame. It really is just slowly taking shape off the plans that we've had for weeks and weeks now. Let's go ahead and zoom into the medium time frame so we can get a little bit more specific with these plans. So where we're at right now is we're more or less waiting to see if we're going to reaccept this range. This is our multi-week composite that we built. We did attempt to accept outside of it recently, and we're now battling with it on the weekly open. So if we do bounce from here and start to trade back up, we can note that this is a multi-day composite right here. If we do reaccept into this multi-day composite, then we can look for upside continuation. If we start to spend more time down into this multi-week comp down here between 26.2 and 25.7ish, then more or less you want to be expecting crab, which likely will lead to the 25K level being eventually lost and taking us down towards the 23K region. So what we're looking at this week is either it's do or die right now where we're at. Either we're going to bounce from here at the beginning of the week and we can see us trading up, or we're going to expect crap. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for Bitcoin. There's really not too much to be covering. It's more or less just waiting for the plans that we've had for weeks to either continue to play out or develop some sort of invalidation. If for some reason we do see a significant bounce from the support region and we trade up, down, or up into the 29K region, this is more or less going to be our invalidation for bearishness. If we are able to get above 29K or into 30s and see some sort of sideways, that's going to be acceptance back into this kind of previous value. There's a lot of overlapping resistance in the upper 28, lower 29. So if we see sideways price action up there, that's going to be invalidation for bearishness and would likely be a reason that I would be going risk on to target into the 34, 35K region. But I consider that to be super low probability and really unlikely to actually materialize. But again, it's important to always have all the plans lined up so that you're not trying to, decide what you want to do after something comes. After a move comes, if you don't have plans and you're trying to make up your plans on the spot, you're far more likely to come up with some really bad plans and trade poorly. So even if you consider it unlikely, you still want to have the plans mapped out. For more information, check out the Paragon group with the link below, where I cover everything from how I trade to how you can develop your own style. So let's go ahead and get into altcoins. We have a few different things to cover here, so let's go ahead and get through it. Let's do the higher time frame stuff first. So for higher time frame, a lot of my short plans are not really shaping up that well, just because I'm not getting the entries that I was looking for. So we'll quickly run through some of these. For OP, I was looking for us to trade up towards the quarterly, so I could take my next swing short on OP. With how it's shaping up, it's pretty unlikely that I'm going to get that trigger. Kind of the same thing with INJ. I was wanting to see trade up towards quarterly and towards the HVN overlap, but I don't really think I'm going to get that. So it does seem that a lot of my short plays are going to leave me in the dust, but it is what it is. I really don't care that much, just because swing shorting really isn't my style anyways. If there's a really clear swing short setup, then I want to take it, but for the most part, I want to be a lower time frame with shorting. So looking at Solana is still kind of on the menu for this. This is a really overly shorted coin, in my opinion, from glancing at the OI. So if Solana can kind of squeeze shorts up into the $21, $22 region, then I would potentially take a swing short on that. But that's pretty much it for the bearish coins. For the most part, you guys already know pretty much everything on the trading list looks super bearish. So if you want to be looking for swing shorts, there's infinite opportunities out there. It's just not really my style. I would much prefer to, when I'm taking swing trades on shitcoins, I want them to be longs most of the time. Opposite end of the spectrum, let's look at some strong coins. So finally, my patience has been rewarded with Ant. I've been long on this one from $4.01 for what feels like an eternity now, right here. Actually, it was over here where I got my entry. I did take profit originally in the $4.40 region, and then it almost retested my entry, and we have traded up now. So I did go ahead and lock in some profit at $4.80 before I turned this recording on. Basically my plan for Ant is I'm hoping that I regret having taken profit on it, and hopefully it goes to my target of $5.40 this week. It looks like it's breaking out, but this has been a coin that really likes to attempt to break out and revert. So I did go ahead and lock in the profit to be safe on it. I have part of the position open still, but experience has taught me trading these illiquid shitcoins that you got to take your profit when you're up like 35% or something crazy like that, just because in the blink of an eye, it could be trading back towards my entry. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm hoping and praying that I can close out the rest of this over $5 this week. It looks like it's totally possible, but I don't want to jinx it by any means. I'm up a ridiculous amount on this thing right now. Maybe it's not as much as I thought. So I'm up like 20% on it. I thought it was more than that. Apparently I'm bad at math. Let's go ahead and run through a couple other ones. So Rune's doing a nice pullback. This is, these are all just setups from Friday's stream. So if Rune can pull back a little bit more towards like $1.50, then I think it's a pretty decent swing short opportunity, or swing long, excuse me. I'm going to go ahead and skip Tron. I think that Tron looks like, market structure wise and VWAP structuring, it looks good, but I kind of refuse to trade that coin personally. A couple of other shitcoins to point out really quickly, just from my scans this afternoon. Lever looks pretty good right now. So if Lever could do some sort of, decent pullback, you probably would be looking to either pull back towards this, inefficiency right here, or potentially lower into one of the VWAPs. If Lever can do a pullback, then I think Lever is probably good for a long continuation. When they look like this, it's not improbable at all for it to just do zero pullback, just do like tiny pullback and just go up. It wouldn't surprise me to see that later this week, but if it gives me a setup, I might be taking this. So that's pretty much it for the shitcoins on the watch list. The other conversation obviously to have is the scalp conversation. So I have no idea what the high volume shitcoins are going to be. It looks like right now we got WorldCoin and Aptos. So WorldCoin was really moving last week, so it wouldn't surprise me if it's been at the top of my list since Monday of last week. So if WorldCoin is still putting in high ticks, then it's probably going to be the coin I trade. It was the coin I traded primarily last week, so I've already got my chart set up for it, so that's cool. If so, again, you guys know I do not care which coin is putting in high ticks, whatever one it is, as long as it's put in high ticks and has decent volume behind it and liquidity, then I'm going to be scalping it. So hopefully I can continue the trend of scalping altcoins. I think this will be week 5 or 6 of having these cartel coins to scalp. So really hoping that that's the case. I hate to boast too much, but I've been doing really well with scalping these coins. So the greedy part of me is definitely hoping that I can pick it back up again and get back into it this week. Last week I took it pretty easy. Like I had covered on the Friday stream, it's pretty good to recognize when you're on streaks and when your ego's getting ahead of yourself and maybe cool it down. So I took it pretty easy last week, so I'd like to kind of pick it back up and get back into full send mode again. So hopefully we can scalp this week. I don't really see any reason to expect that we shouldn't be able to. But that's it for the week, guys. Good luck, everybody.